Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast. The podcast reviews of movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 363, and it is our second review on our month of reviewing coming of age films. And today, none other than the show is being hosted by the Nerd Chicano himself, myself, and right next to my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
Sup, everybody. Welcome to the show where I am the Han Solo to Raul's Chewbacca. If I only had a brain. Put him on.
I really appreciated that meme you what's it called, you tagged me in the one of they're making fun of me because I'm British. I want to tag a bandit.
Yeah, I couldn't find Burst Bandits because I would have tagged him too. But I figured tagging the rest of y'all would be as fun.
I'll go ahead and save it. I'll put it in Gabby's Discord so you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was genius. That was genius. Yeah. So how you doing, bro?
Pretty good. No complaints. Yeah. My belly's full. Still at work. Life's all right.
Yeah. Yep. I was playing some. Well, today I had the wonderful chance of being on a podcast that'll be coming out on Wednesday, so I'll keep you guys in talks about that. But I was playing some Minecraft with Luis, Chillzone, and Gio. Mm-hmm. We were playing. Well, Gio, Luis, and myself were playing with Gabby. We were playing Fall Guys. So Luis was gonna do some streaming of Minecraft. So I said, I have like 1 hour. I have an hour left in Space Odyssey. I'll finish it tonight before I go to bed. And I said, let's go ahead and play some Minecraft. First of all, it took us about like 20 minutes just for me to enter the server. And then I died about 9 times trying to find where Luis's spawn is, Luis's places.
Yeah.
And then I died because apparently he has a whole lava pool to burn his stuff. And when I looked at the time, it was about 8:20. I'm sorry, 8:05.
So you basically just got dead in Minecraft. That's what we're going with.
I have never wanted to break a controller as bad as I wanted. I wanted to.
What about that time me and Bryce set a trap for you? That one was pretty bad.
My blood has boiled more on Call of Duty than it has on Minecraft. But that changed today. I wanted to break my controller so.
See, that really had nothing to do with anyone except the server. Really.
Mm-hmm. So, that's how my day has been as of late. Today, of course, been trying to finish Space Odyssey today. Of course, that's just amazing as always.
Takes forever.
Yeah, but it's like. The first half is not the first half. The first act is the one that kind of goes a little bit quick. The second act, the third though. Yep.
Nope, it just slows down.
I just watching just what Kubrick was able to.
That was definitely Kubrick just pulling out his big giant wang, throw it on the table, and said, "Look at my visuals."
Yeah,
that's really what 2001 is.
Yeah, it's just looking at it in awe, bro. But he ended up making one of the most important movies of all time, man. I mean, it's.
I think Tarkovsky would argue with you, but
Tarkovsky.
I'm personally not going to argue with you. I think it's very visually appealing.
Yeah.
Even though to me it is slower than hell.
Yeah, but even Solaris is supposed to go slow, but
Honestly, if I'm looking for a visually appealing movie that's quick or seems quick, I'm watching Ron every time. Yeah. I'm watching Kurosawa's Ron.
And if it's a space one, I'll go with Interstellar because it's just the same thing. It's like quick, but
Interstellar's good. I like Interstellar.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into this, man. So apparently, what's it called? We're doing a coming of age month this month. I know that because I am part of this podcast, and we are.
You don't say you're part of this. Really, you're part of this podcast, bro. I would have never guessed.
What happens when I do get my hours of sleep? I need.
How many episodes are we on? I keep saying 600 plus. We might be 700 for all, I don't know.
I mean, you just have to kind of count up all the other episodes we have, and then you would just put like a wild card for mini pods we put in here before and stuff like that. But like, whatever. A lot. Let's just say it's a lot. Excuse me. Well, I burped to the microphone. Yeah. Last week we had the pleasure of reviewing Water Lilies.
Very good movie.
We're going to be doing Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist as Brad's first pick. And then next week we do Dope.
Also another great movie.
Let's go ahead and get into this. If you've never seen Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, then this is your chance to get out of here before spoilers are talked about. But if you don't care about spoilers, then go ahead and stay in. But either way, how it goes, your spoiler warning is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. iPad was short today. So
yeah,
not today, my friend, not today. But let's go ahead and get into this. Go ahead and introduce us to Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
All right, coming from our only source, Wikipedia, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is a 2008 American romantic comedy drama film directed by Peter Solley and starring Michael Cera and Kat Dennings, written by Lorene Scafaria and based on the novel of the same name by Rachel Cohn and David Leviathan. The story tells of teenagers Nick and Nora who meet when Nora asks Nick to pretend to be her boyfriend for 5 minutes. Over the course of the night, they tried to find their favorite band's secret show and search for Nora's drunken best friend. The film came into development in 2003 when producer Carrie Kahansky-Roberts found Cohn and Leviathan's novel and decided to adapt it for film. Scafaria was hired to write the script in 2005, and Solley signed on to direct the film in 2006. Principal photography took place over 29 days from October to December 2007, primarily in Manhattan and Brooklyn, New York City. The film premiered on September 6, 2008 at the 2008 Toronto International Film Festival and was released theatrically on October 3, 2008. It tripled its U.S. $10 million budget with a total gross of $33.5 million. An accompanying soundtrack was released on September 23, 2008, and the film was released on DVD and Blu-ray on February 3, 2009. It attracted generally positive reviews from critics and received nominations for 3 Satellite Awards, 1 GLAAD Media Award, 1 MTV Movie Award, and 1 Golden Reel Award.
All right, man.
So that's what I got.
That's what you got. So, I mean, this is your movie. So let's go ahead and get in some initial thoughts here.
You probably hated this movie, so I'll go with the good talk on it. I know you like parts of it because you tweeted it already, but I'm sure there's parts of this you hate. But I adore this movie. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my favorite romantic comedy movie of all time. I've seen this movie probably 10 times, at least. I've probably seen this movie like 10 times because it's a quick watch.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, like you said, I think cinematography is great on this.
Yeah.
The lighting. I enjoy the story. You can't write the story today. All right, I posted this on Twitter earlier. Like the story fails to work today because smartphones and Uber. It totally disagree. Just destroys this.
Completely disagree because I had a cousin. He was in New Orleans, and he lost his phone at the bar. He was trying to go back to my brother's place.
You can still get an Uber though.
No, he lost his phone.
Yeah, he lost his phone, but you can totally go turn to the guy next to you and drunkenly go Uber, or go to the bar dude and go Uber.
No, man. This is like around 2014, I think. 2013. He was like, "Yeah, I lost my my phone."
I mean, those are good nights, honestly. Like, I would never lose my phone. My phone would die on me though.
Yeah. But only thing he knew was the address, and he was just like,
just wandering around New Orleans. Yeah. That's
a great premise to a movie. Yeah.
Basically, this is a first love story. It's really a story of how New York kids, I think, were at the time. I think it does great at that. The only bad part that I know people bring up always is generally Michael Cera. Like, how the hell is Michael Cera pulling Kat Dennings? That's like in every fucking review. I swear to God, their negative is, this isn't real Michael Cera. It's like, Like Michael Cera is total just awkward nerd boy. He really is. Who's had his heart crushed by the cheerleader, and Kat Dennings Nora swoops in and they become a couple. Weirdly, in a weird, fascinating story with a cast of characters I love that just ride around in vans and kidnap drunk people, apparently. And then, okay, so for the negative parts, one, the gum. The gum in the toilet scene, every time, nauseates me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And then the gum still just appears randomly throughout. You're like, you could have left the gum in the toilet, drunk lady, but, drunk, okay.
Yeah.
And that's nauseating. Like I've seen it 10 times. Every time I'm just like, and my wife was even like Brad, you've seen this movie like a million times. Like this scene. I'm like, it's still gross. It's still gross, Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will say Michael Cera, Kat Dennings. Sometimes you can see their acting is a little stiff. I don't take points away from that. It's just at certain times they just seem kind of stiff in the movie. That's my real. But I adore this movie.
Yeah. I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's terrible. I just could not care about this watching it. First of all, really well shot. It's incredibly lit, especially for it being mostly natural lighting in those scenes.
That was natural lighting. I didn't realize that was natural lighting.
It has to be. It has to be primarily natural. Also, Lorenz Cafaria is the director and writer of Hustlers. Just so you guys know, this is one of her startup scripts that she kind of built towards getting to Hustlers. So yeah, I mean there was that. I want to say I laughed about 3 or 4 times throughout this movie.
I laughed more than that.
Yeah,
I laughed far more than that.
I don't care about things grossing me out in movies. I don't ever take points off for that crap.
The gum was pretty bad though.
But it was bad.
Just saying, it was bad. Like the gum's always the bad part of this movie.
But I did have a major problem with the way they filmed that orgasm scene. That was really, really odd. The way that they kind of filmed it, and it was like really like, oh no, it was very 2000s. Let's just say that it was very 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I never really had a problem with that scene.
Yeah,
they don't show anything.
No, it's not. It doesn't show anything. It's just filmed in a very, like.
Well, and
to me,
so for years, me and my wife had this conversation because she was like, "No, they had sex," and I'm like, "No,
you fingered her.
No, you fingered her." Yeah, like that's why he's to the side of her and his pants are still on. She finally looked at this. She's like, "Oh, you're right." But we had been having the argument for years.
Yeah. To me, it just felt creepy and really weird the way that it's shot.
It would only been weird if somebody was sitting there at the thing with their headphones on to me. Like it was cop.
And then I read that Kat Dennings even found that scene to be really awkward, how they shot it and everything. But the premise is interesting. You know me, I'm not really into these rom-coms.
No, I know you're not.
Movies, and it's
I knew this wasn't going to be a pick for you. Yeah. This is a pick for me.
But the thing is, like, I expected going in, man. Like I'm gonna enjoy the music though. I think I'm gonna enjoy the music.
Oh man, I love the music.
It's like
I love the soundtrack.
It's that indie
pop punk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. I'm not into that, man. It just didn't do anything for me.
I mean, it's better than Venom.
Don't bring that up ever again. But I will say though, on the occasions I laughed. Every time they were inside the van, and just those.
There was something like when they're trying to figure out the band name and they're just going through it, and Nora's just "Shut up, you fistful of assholes." Every time
Michael Cera had to reiterate that not everybody in the band is gay. Just did something for me.
Or how they didn't have a drummer. I really liked when Nora kept bringing that up, because you don't have a drummer.
Yeah. But the whole, the whole the whole drunk girl shtick, and also I'm starting to
She
realize
played a very good drunk girl. I will say.
It's so annoying after a while. It's like,
she's
okay.
a drunk girl. That's pretty annoying.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
know.
not been around women?
Annoying, but like it's too much screen time for the drunk girl.
No, I liked when she was originally drunk and they go to get her out of the car and she locks the fucking doors.
Oh yeah. And like, open the door, bitch. That's the one. That's the one I laughed at too. What's it called? I was gonna say that it just. Thanks, Brad, for breaking my my train of thought here. I do appreciate the fact that it was not a super long movie, but to me the pace kind of went like it was a little bit longer than it needed to be. So when I checked the time, I'm like, wow.
I didn't feel that. I felt this movie goes quick. I thought this movie goes quick.
Now then again, I watched this yesterday on like 4 hours of sleep. So
I mean how long? It's an hour. It's an hour 30. 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not a long movie, and to me, it goes quick.
Yeah.
That's why I can watch it 10 times.
Yeah. So, take my opinion with whatever grain of salt. But I was just like, there was just,
How's 2001 treating you? Nick and Nora's go by real quick.
It feels like The Irishman, dude. But, I have like an hour left in that, so we're fine. We're fine. But there was just I just kept watching and watching and watching, and I just never really cared for it, and like the whole what's it called I will say though I do believe that this was definitely a thing during the 2000s with New York kids where they stayed up all night
places like, and that's the thing. You say this movie can be made today, I say iffy. I don't think kids go quite on adventures.
Right now, definitely not. Can't be made
definitely
right
not.
Now.
No, definitely not. Not right now.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I noticed there was a trope in the 2000s films that it always happened. The van, car, whatever, always had to hit the trash can and make the trash drop out.
Well, at least they got that out of the way in the very original. It was like, oh, did I hit that?
It's like that was always a trope I've noticed with these 2000 films. It happens in Dude, Where's My Car and all that other stuff.
They not only hit a trash can, but they fucked up the Yugo with a fire hydrant.
Yeah. So
you didn't find funny the drunk couple who got in thinking it was a cab?
No.
I found it hilarious that somebody would just mix that fucking ugly thing up as a cab. And then they like touch his hair and shit. It's just like, what the fuck?
And I'm also really indifferent to to Sarah. I don't really care much for Michael.
Sarah's always been the awkward nerd in all these films.
I do think that Kat Dennings' character is pretty cool in here, but I think that at first he's like, hey, pretend to be my boyfriend, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden she's like really starting getting into him, like that was a little too fast for me. But I think Kat Dennings, by the way, Kat Dennings is fucking beautiful in this movie. Beautiful. I was like, wait, Kat Dennings. Oh, that's Kat Dennings. I was like, oh crap, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. But I do kind of like her character in here, but I just think that development to me kind of shied away. Overall, man, I just really didn't care much for this. And
this is definitely not one of your movies. That's
no.
This is not your taste.
Yeah. Now, Superbad. I love Superbad. What up, gang?
Superbad's to the point of just fucking ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
Like, Superbad's memorable in that. Nick and Nora is one of those more, I think people just don't know about it.
It's very niche.
Very niche. I personally love this movie. I personally watch it because, like you said, the cinematography on this, the cityscape, the New York, the cars.
I like that.
Like it's just I love going into a day and just them being on like an adventure.
Yeah. I like that last shot of them kissing on the escalators while the sun is starting to rise up. What's it called in the back of the city? It's like, they planned their shots really well in this movie. I gotta say that. And man, I think that this, what's it called? This is, by the way, a coming of age film. I think 100% is a coming of age film.
It's a first love film. Really?
First love, and it's usually a thing that comes with coming of age. So, I got to say that in that sense, yeah, this kind of did fit the bill. But I always say, man, I'm not a really big fan of rom-coms. I'm like, they're just things that like, never really been my taste. Like,
I love rom-coms. Give me more
yeah.
rom-coms.
Yeah, it's like when we watched To All the Boys I Loved Before, I was like, I
love it.
Like that.
Give me all the rom-coms.
Yeah.
Give me the sappiness.
But I can't say I dislike this. Like I'm so indifferent. I'm just like,
I mean, to me, it's kind of like how Amores Perros feels to me, in that I can find I love the shooting, I love the characters, I love the script. They're just it's not my kind of film.
Characters are actors.
Same thing. Blah blah blah. The actors, I love the actors. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't quite like the characters, but it's not my cup of tea, really. It's not the movies that I generally like to watch. Whereas this is a movie I generally like to watch.
Yeah. And I just, and people are probably going to be like, oh, dude, how could you not like this?
No, because like you said, this is a niche film. Yeah. I did not expect you to like this film. So if you give this thing higher than like a 5, I'll be kind of blown away by it.
Well, what's it called? I was going to say that what's it called? It's just, you were like, oh, I expected I was to hate this. And like throughout it, I was like, there's nothing terrible in here where it's like, I hate it. It's just, I'm just like, I just don't care about this. Like, and
that's where we're different. I find stuff in this memorable where you just don't.
Yeah. No. But I meant like, as in you were saying, like I was going to hate these movies.
I was expecting you to.
Yeah. I was like,
this isn't your taste. I know this isn't your taste.
I don't hate it. Like, there's nothing in this movie where it's like, oh, that was just atrocious. Why would they do that? Like, the script just doesn't make sense there or whatever, right? Like, it's just so bad. Like Venom, like where I'm like,
well, and being a rom-com, you kind of expect that. Like, there to be something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, there was never something like that. I mean, like, for just the instance of like, just, I think that they kind of went for each other a little bit too quick. Like, I was just like, okay,
I mean, but if you think about it in this context, she knew Sarah's character. She listened to freaking 7 mixtapes of his. So you go into that, she already kind of knew his tastes. And then, she was totally a girl he would fall for because 1, beautiful, 2, has an attitude, and 3 is not Trish.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we're kind of nearing the what's it called? The minimum point here. But I will say, what's it called? I just, before I finish this, I just really do got to give up props to the cinematographer, man. You guys killed it. That was great stuff on there. I think the lighting was just fantastic, especially.
I mean, if people, yes, Dixie, I hear you. Thank you.
What was the budget again?
10 million.
10 mil, damn.
I will say, if people want to, even if this isn't their type of film, I say just watch it for the cinematography, for a night scene, and you say natural lighting, I'm going, okay, that's pretty cool.
Natural lighting in there. I gotta agree there. I think it has to be a bit of natural lighting, but if it's not, still, it's incredible what they were able to do because, the cinematography really helps kind of set the atmosphere and the whole location of New York City.
Well, and I like how they don't only, it's not just they're in New York, they actually have like stops and show like very famous landmarks in New York.
Yeah.
Like Gray's Papaya, like that's a very famous hot dog shop in New York. Yeah. Like they stop there and then they have all these other places that they go to that you can actually go to or could go to before COVID.
It's the same way I feel like, how Taxi Driver really does kind of introduce and kind of build New York. It's just so beautifully encompasses how it is and everything. So, that's a different New York, though. That's an ugly, grim New York.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an ugly, grim movie.
Yeah. So, with this one, it's like just the way it's shot. It just helps really kind of build up that atmosphere and the look. And
really shows New York being beautiful.
Yeah, it really does make you feel like you're kind of in New York at the time. So, yeah, I got to give props for that. So, I'm going to go ahead and let Brad do it first. So, Brad, what is your score for Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist?
So I'm only going to do this once. So I'm giving it a 10. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm giving it a 10. It's one of my favorite movies.
Hey, man, like we always say, 10 never means it's perfect. 10 means like, wow, I love this. Like, it was great. It was fantastic.
I mean, I wouldn't watch this movie 10 plus times if I didn't really, really enjoy the scenery and just the story.
Yeah, that's what I always got to remind people. A 5-star never means it's perfect, guys. Like if
No.
you see anything in my 5 stars or 10s, we give them like they're not meant to be perfect. They just mean like we thought this was incredible and great.
I mean, like 10 is just I absolutely adore this film. I'll say it again, but I will say some stiffness in acting, and there is a little bit of age in this film. You guys got to remember that.
Yep.
Like I said in episodes before, I don't know if I said on the live show or if I just said it, the R word does get thrown around here, but it was 2008.
Yep. So, it just, what's it called? It was part of back then. Just like all the other tropes that are in this movie. So, I'm going to go ahead and give Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist a 5 out of 10. And Brad guessed it right. He goes, if you give this anything more than a 5, I'm going to be surprised. This is just a regular 5 to me. It's just right smack in the middle. I didn't like it, but I didn't not like it. I'm just kind of like, I really just don't care about this. It's just meh.
It's a romantic comedy.
It's meh.
I will say, watch it for the cinematography then, even if you aren't into rom-coms. Yeah.
So with that being said, it's been a wonderful time here, and Brad and I have to do a Patreon mini pod right after this. So with that being said, it's been a lot of fun with you. Talking with you guys. As always, thenerdcore.com is the premier destination where you can find everything about us. So, you go over there, check out our reviews and stuff that we got all locked up in there and have some fun reading that stuff. It's a lot of cool stuff to find there.
You said stuff a lot.
I know. So thenerdcore.com, that's the website. The Nerdcore _ on Twitter, Nerdcore on Instagram. Want to go ahead and give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters get this episode day early. And not just you can, if you don't get to watch the stream, at least you get to watch the video that's here after we're done, and you get to listen to the audio version before anybody else as well for a bit. And if you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you go to www.patreon.com/nerdcore. And hold on, excuse me, not burp to the microphone. And we got to give some special shout outs to some of our Patreon supporters. First of all, our associate producers, Cassie and Sarah. We love you guys a lot. Our executive producers, Grayson Barker, who you can follow at Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram, Warlord at 1bar on Twitter. And then we got Mr. Shane, newly engaged SRK. Where can you find him?
Twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at XSRK_. Love you, Shane.
Love you, Shane.
Suppy God in the building.
Suppy God, indeed. And then our writers are Bryce, who you can follow at BrownRice96 on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, I think, as well. Wherever he posts a lot of stuff, apparently. And then, of course, our wonderful Tony, who loves us and loves to interact with us a lot. We thank you so much, man. You can go follow him on Twitter at RealNerdyDad. So with that being said, we are going to be seeing you guys later. And we will see you guys on Saturday for this show as we discuss The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That was my original coin toss before we started talking about some new releases.
Man, but I think he means before we started dicking around.
Yeah. I've never seen The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and it's on my 75 films from Asia list, so I'm pretty
sure I have seen it.
Man, I think you say you watched half of it.
No, I think I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. But
maybe. I don't know.
Film directed by Hosada Mamoru. So I'm really excited because we watched Summer Wars and I watched Mirai, and Mirai was, we both watched Mirai as well. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what this guy brings to the table with this one. So with that being said, we will go ahead and see you guys later, and I'm going to go ahead and take this thing off from the bottom. But Brad, go ahead and send him out.
Ryro, thank you for being the host as always. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all those who follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, yada yada, takalada. And if you guys want to get us know us better, join the Patreon. Anyways, thank you guys. And I guess I'll leave with just hold her hand or his hand or their hand. Whose hand? Just hold their hand. Young Goat out.